Welcome for our today's science lesson. Today we are going to look at the global issues, and most of these issues you will discover them there in the world, everywhere. That is why we call them the global issues. Specifically on scientific matters, we are going to look at the various debates in science and the society. Do you have any issue as an individual pertaining science? How do you handle it in the society? Do you have any debates that you are carrying them on pertaining science wherever you are? Of course, yes. These and many other debates that are promulgated by various individuals in the scientific world, they are bringing issues on debates, and these are being discussed in various contexts and also in various levels. We are going to look at these major debates that are affecting the society and also the environment. When you look at science in itself, science involved issues that affect everyone's life. The best scientific evidence that are available should inform the people who debates about scientific issues. What do I mean? I mean that all the science, all the scientific issues they have brought various debates. They have brought various debates in the limelight. When these scientific issues have brought more debate in the limelight, they are affecting everyone's life. They are affecting everyone's life. When we look at the life in general, your life, my life, somebody else's life, your neighbor's life, and at large in the whole society. Therefore, when you look at these issues, though we might be discussing them, but if we do not have scientific evidence, then we may not be able to find them well. We cannot debate them well. The scientific evidence actually should be made available. The scientific evidence should be made available. The scientific evidence should be made available about scientific issues. They should be made available to inform us. To inform us about scientific issues, to inform us about scientific issues. Now, having looked at all these, we'll find out that most of the scientific evidence are still coming up frequently every time, because scientists are still making exploration, carrying out researches, also carrying out experiments in various fields, including astronomical field, the geomorphological field. We go to oceanography and various other fields. Still there is exploration going on. And as a scientist, come up with some few or a glimpse of evidence. Then this evidence are made available to make us be informed about these scientific issues, then bringing out more debate and more lively. And it is good to be actively involved in a given debate. My friend, science alone can also not handle, cannot provide all answers. Why? Because science and technology has caused some of the tremendous changes in the society. Most of the scientific invention, I will also add a given issue here. Most of the science and technology that we have discovered, most of science and technology is the one that has caused tremendous changes. There are actually tremendous changes. These changes are the changes that are coming in the society. And then who is this found in the society? It is you and me and our friends, neighbors, our family. We make up the society. But often some of these changes are viewed as progress, and they are found out they are very much positive in terms of development. Yes, I will agree with that. At the same time, some of these changes that are brought about by the science and technology, they are both. These changes have come out with both positive. We have both positive and I will also say negative effect on the society. Because we will not only say that it is progress when we are advancing in technology, and yet we are not looking at the negative side of it. Where is the progress? That is where it will reach a time that we will have to discover some of these things bringing us to the limelight of these debates. Then we will have to develop the 3 timeline benefits. We will be able to look at all of those. While as we consider some of these changes being positive, while others becoming negative, some of the issues have been seen instead as the cause of the new problems, especially the new scientific evidence and new technology. We have the innovation that is frequently triggers these debates in the society. Actually, you will discover, even you yourself, you have come up with a discovery on scientific momentum. I hope when you bring it to the limelight, backing up with a given evidence, you will find out a debate arising about it. These debates, you can see them in the media houses, in the society, in the pavement, in the social places. You will find them, people discussing so many issues concerning science, because these evidences or this scientific innovation or scientific discovery, they are the things that are coming to live with us in the society. And as long as we stay with them in the society, Therefore, we will adopt them because a number of them are positive. At the same time, when we have accepted the positive progress in the scientific innovation and technology, we have also at the same time accepted the negative effect or the negative impact concerning about it. Therefore, most of these issues are the ones that are triggering the debates in the society. And we can find out some of these issues that are being debated, especially in various continents. But today here, we are going to look at some of the debates, some of the debating issues in Australia. I would like to discover the debates. We discover together these various debates in Australia, in Australian society. These debates in Australian society. What are some of the various debates? Do you have any debates that you can bring so that we can discuss, we can argue about it? Just find out, discover. It is good to make as part of the society as we are staying in this precious continent of Australia. Therefore, we make Australian society. You will find that a number of the debates among whatever you are thinking about, you'll discover humans are causing global climate change, for example. Humans are the ones who are responsible in causing what you call global climate change. Therefore, global climate change, it becomes climate change when it hits the global debates, then it becomes a global issue. That is just an example. We'll be able to explore the various climatic changes in various continents, and we will also narrow down in Australia, in the Australian society. What should it be done? For example, if humans are the ones who are responsible for the global climate change, what should they be done, or what should it be done? What should be done? Should we keep quiet and say that all is well? As a scientist, you don't keep quiet because all is well. There are issues that are coming up, and eventually if you don't do something, then you'll find them at your doorstep or already in your house, because we have technology. Technology is already with you in your house. Sometimes this technology is coming with us in the bedrooms. Let's look at another issue. The nuclear power plants should be built in Australia. Nuclear power plants. Should it be built in Australia? Should it be built in Australia so that we can also enjoy? Should it be built in Australia so as to meet its the future, so as to meet the future daily demands of energy Should we adopt this? And then what should be done? Should we also overlook the risks behind it? Or should we just accept it? This has become a global issue, especially in Australian society. In various platforms, you'll find out that they are various these and also other. Let me also move to the next. This is just an highlight of some of these issues, because out of this we are formulating a base of some of the topics we are going to discuss. Clean coal. Should clean coal and Geosquinterium should clean coal and geosquaration technology that traps carbon dioxide that traps the carbon dioxide. Should we adopt this in Australia? Or should we have an underground measure that should be developed to allow us continue burning coal? Should we have underground measures that allow us to continue burning coal? As we continue burning coal, should we allow the underground measures to continue burning coal to produce electricity? If we have to allow the underground measures to continue burning coal, what are the effects? Though we want energy, we want to produce electricity because our country or our society is moving towards industrialization. Therefore, we need a lot of energy power and a lot of energy sources. What should we do? Is it appropriate to transplant such a given topic? Is it appropriate to transplant organ? That is human organs, to transplant human organ from other species? Should we do it from other species now? Where? Into human system? Into human body system? And that science of doing organ transplant is called xenotransplantation. Actually, according to your view, because this is also another area where we have to carry out very decisive measures, finding out that is it appropriate to transplant organ from other species into human body system, that is xenotransplantation. Do you accept that I give you, we do what we call an organ transplant, for example, of a heart if your heart fail, or if your kidney fail, we transplant your kidney with another kidney of other primates. Will you accept? Is it appropriate? That is what we are discussing. That is what we are looking into. As we looked into it, should also moving on to other features of the debates in our society, especially in Australian society. Should genetically modified plants should we have genetically modified, that is modified plants, should genetically modified plants be grown in Australia? This is a question for us to debate, and I would like us to debate them in our classes. These and other issues are a major debates that are necessary to be discussed, and they have the best possible scientific evidence available to them. Should we have them? For example, the genetically modified plants, we call it the genetically modified plants. Should we allow them to grow and thrive in Australia? Should we grow them? What is their impact? And what are their benefits? It is true, we will be able to have various topics surrounding this area as we look for more and more evidence that are available for us to survive with this kind of technology that is available. I would like us to move on and look at some of this, some few discussed evidence that are relevant. Actually, in a given discussion, for any debate to be successful, the relevant scientific evidence is needed to make decisions about the effect of new technology and scientific advances in the society. What do I mean? I mean that we should have authoritative and relevant evidence. This authoritative and relevant evidence is actually needed to do what? It is needed to make decision. These evidences are needed to make decisions about the effect. About the effects of new technology the effect of new technologies and scientific advances. When we look at the scientific advances or advancement on society, then we have to come up with relevant and authoritative evidence. We don't just have to discuss them because they are a debate, because most of the debates, scientific debates, are developed on relevant evidence, which is actually also needed to help the society make decisions about the effects of the new technology and its scientific advancement on the society itself. Scientific evidence can also help people to understand human impacts. Why do we need this? Why do we need this evidence? I will say that scientific evidence, this scientific evidence can help people the scientific evidence can help people to understand what is happening in the society. To understand what is happening in the society, especially the human impacts, on the natural environment. When we look at this, then understanding comes out clearly on how are we living the natural environment. If we are living with some of the scientific innovation, the technologies that is available with us, then we should be also in a position to understand the human impact of using this technology or this advancement on the natural environment, as well as evaluating the non-human threats such as meteorites, volcanoes, earthquakes, and also tsunamis. When we are able to understand them, then we will find no trouble in our scientific discoveries and also innovations. Because this is very much vital and also important as we continue to look at them. Another reason is that in deciding whether it is appropriate to use the genetically modified, in deciding whether it is appropriate to use genetically modified crops, that is to use genetically modified crops, that is referred to as GMC, genetically modified crops for food. Should we use them for food? Is it appropriate to use genetically modified crops for food? Scientific evidence need to be gathered here. We need scientific evidence. Scientific evidence need to be gathered here. Scientific evidence need to be gathered to ensure that foods made from these are safe. Food made from GMC or food obtained food which is obtained from GMC is safe and not poisonous. Is safe and not poisonous to human life or to cause harm. On human life, because anything that you take that is very much poisonous in terms of food, you will discover that there will be a harmful effect that will be caused as a result of maybe food poisoning, and then that bring harm on human life, and eventually when human life has been affected, you will find out and discover that also it become a menace on the society and also natural environment. Sometimes food is irradiated with the nuclear radiation. That is scientific advancement. Sometimes food is irradiated with what we call nuclear radiation. Is it safe? Is irradiated with the nuclear radiation. Are these food safe? As we are doing this nuclear radiation so as to kill the bacteria, what about the effect of radiation itself? What about the effect of the bacteria itself? What we need, actually, scientific evidence need to be provided. Scientific evidence need to tell is need to be provided when this scientific evidence is provided to tell whether radiation triggers dangerous changes to occur. Whether radiation triggers dangerous changes. Dangerous changes to occur. And sometime these changes, we must be able to understand them from the scientific point of view. Whether this radiation may trigger some of the dangerous changes to occur or not, then we'll be able to find out that these are some of the things we have to find them and debate them out. Another issue that is also touching on the global impact is whether climates are notoriously difficult to predict and model. We'll have weather and climate, are they becoming notoriously to predict in their long run model? In case of climate change, in case of the climate change, should we use computation models which require huge and massive amount of computing power and data from the sensors over the world? What should we do? Actually, when we look on various issues, these are crucial and more debating and debates have been formulated in different forums. Discover that climate change occurs over a huge geographical areas, and they take a long or a large lifespan. Modeling the climate of the future relies on the scientific, making a number of assumptions, different assumptions, which also leads to different predictions, opinions, and even among the scientists, you will find out there is a sharp difference. The sharp differences is the one that actually brings now the debates. Sometimes scientific assumptions which have been made in the past are the ones that are bringing us issues. Another issue is the human production of the greenhouse gases as the potential to impact the climate change, including the natural one, the processed cycles, indicating the amount of heat that is coming from the sun. You'll discover that the complexity of this evidence means some of the debate cannot simply be solved with the yes or no answers based on scientific evidence. Therefore, we'll have to count the costs and also the benefits. Let us look at the costs and the benefits. When we look at the costs and the benefits of these scientific debates and also the scientific innovation and changes, you will discover that every change has an impact on the economy, on the environment and issue. I would like to emphasize and say that every change that comes out of the society from the scientific issue, this change has an impact. This change has an impact on these three things. One, on the economy first of a given country. It also has an impact on the environment and also the people or the society. It also has an impact on the people, that we can also refer to it as the society, people living in a society. Now, when decisions and the debates in the society, which are usually based on computing the cost of doing something with its benefit, with what benefit does it offer, we should also be able to broaden our spectrum and look at some of these changes. If we are expecting scientific changes to come up with us, always those changes have a cost to bear. When we have the cost on the economy, we have to incur. When we have the benefit on the economy, then we have to enjoy. We have the cost on the environment, we have to bear the costs. And if there is any benefit on the environment, we have to enjoy. If there is the cost on the people or the society, it is the responsibility of the society to bear its cost. And also, if the benefits has to accrue there on the society, it is the society itself that will do change and do what we call enjoy. Actually, when we have to find out the cost and the benefit, you will learn that they rotate or they revolve around the economy, the environment, and the people or the society. For example, electric and hybrid cars offers the benefit of being quiet. Let me use an example. Electric hybrid cars. We have what we call electric hybrid cars. Electric hybrid cars, they have a lot of benefit they offer. One of the benefits is they are much more quieter. They are very quiet, and having much, they release, there is actually less emission. There is less emission of the greenhouse gas. We had discussed these greenhouse gases in the previous segment, in the other level. When we have to compare electric and hybrid cars, they are quiet and they have less emission of the greenhouse effect compared to the current petroleum-driven vehicles, because it is this, when we have to compare them, like the petroleum-driven vehicle, their advantage is that they move longer, they are efficient, but also there, from the other point of view, there is a lot of emission of greenhouse gas. Now, if it's change both the hybrid and electric vehicles, when we make comparison between the two, we'll realize that the petroleum-driven vehicles are still posing a harmful danger on the natural environment, because the emission of the greenhouse gas, such as the carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide, when it is emitted, where does it go? It goes in the atmosphere. And the atmosphere is our natural environment also. It goes in the atmosphere, and perhaps you know what happens in the atmospheric layers. There's the layer of the stratosphere, where we have ozone layer. This gas can go and do degrading and dangerous effect on it, because it will make the ozone layer to become very much porous. What will be the consequences, or what will be the impact on the same environment? Yes, we have enjoyed using a petroleum-driven vehicle, but in the long run, what have we done? We have damaged the ozone layer. What is its effect? We can now call the effect, these have the negative. effect. We shall look at them in the deeper orientation zone as we find them out. This one brings to us to the understanding that when we have to bear the cost of all this and the benefit, we must make concisive and precise decisions. While also the petroleum-driven car, yes, they can be refueled in minutes as compared to the electric hybrid vehicles, because this one they use batteries. They actually use the batteries. Compared to them, batteries take longer time to be charged, and also they take hours. But with our present level of technology, the cost of electric car outweighs its benefit. So most people have chosen not to buy one. Still, electric and hybrid cars are more quieter. Their advantages are still more advantageous when we compare them with the petroleum-driven vehicles. Therefore, but still people are looking at the expenses of taking more time, because convenience is also an issue in the global time. As we wind up the benefit and the cost, we also have to look at the triple bottom line, so as we manage to find out what is going to be triggered here. We also have to look at the triple bottom line of all these things. The triple bottom line of all these things. Students, the bottom line in economics refers to the final calculation for a company once all its revenue has been added up and all the costs have been subtracted. This is able to show whether the company is making a profit or a loss. It can also happen to an individual. But some have argued out that it is unacceptable just to look at the bottom of the company, at the bottom line of the company, especially in terms of dollars and cents. There is a good argument for calculating the company's triple bottom line. What do? We look at various ways. We add up the benefit and the cost of its activity in 3 areas. What do? I will say that there is a good argument. There is a good argument for calculating a company's triple bottom line. This is where we have to look at the things. One, we have to look at the adding up the benefits and its costs of activities in terms of the economic impact. We have to add up the benefits of not only the benefit, we look also the benefit and the costs. The benefit and the cost of its activity. When we look at these activities, we are looking at the company's or a nation's activities in terms of one, economy. Therefore, we have to look at the economics of that part or that company. We also have to look at the impact on the environment. We look at its impact on the environment. And then lastly, we also have to look at their impact on the society. Its impact on the society or the people where those activities are being carried out. Now, as we look at all this, you'll find out that there are various guidelines that will drive out all this. When we have to argue out that there is a good argument for calculating the company's triple bottom line, we have to add also both benefits and the costs of its activities in terms of the economics, the impact on the natural environment, and also on the society. And that brings us to the ethics and the values. It brings us to the ethics and the values of a given society or a given group, a given nation, and that is how it is. It brings us to the ethics and values. Then what do you value? What is your ethical? You'll find that different people do not always judge the costs and the benefit in the same way. Why? These differences are called the values. Every person has their own value. You have your own value. I have my own value. What do you value? What does the society value? And different people have also different sets of value. For instance, some people might eat a fast food in a restaurant because they value convenience of time. Why? They value the convenience of time. Yeah, it is well and it is good. They are more convenient. They value time more than any other thing. Therefore, they prefer to eat the fast and quick food on the restaurant than a healthy food. Others, they value losing weight more higher than to depend on the vegetarian, especially restaurant, or sometimes they might cook their own healthy food at home. That is an example for the sake of illustration. But all this brings up debates and they shape the social and the economic and also environmental nature. After looking all these global issues and various debates, it is good and it's very much important we have to understand the costs and the benefit. That is one. When we are able to understand the cost and the benefit, we'll be able to make out the rightful decisions. We also have to come and ensure we also have to be able to understand the triple bottom line of everything. We also have to understand the triple bottom line of whatever is happening. And eventually, we look at the impact on the ethics and the values. That is where our scientific debates are carrying us. After looking at all the discovery and innovation, technological advancement in various fields, elsewhere, even as much as we are debating up, let us center our debate on the cost. If they carry out any cost, it is in the economy, be it in the society, and also in the natural environment. We have to look at the cost and its benefit. If the cost outweighs the benefit, then we make the rightful decisions. We look at the triple bottom line of both economy, the natural environment, and the society itself.